If I don't, yell at me, and I'll make sure I turn in that direction, okay?
Well, I'm so excited that you're all here and everybody's watching online, wherever that camera is, because the community is really at our heart, and it's part of this panel as well, how we want to improve that collaboration and that feedback loop. Of course, the future of the franchise is also that we have Louis Troupin here to talk about the Division Resurgence, the new Division mobile game. And of course, that I know that so many of you are waiting for, we will cover that new Division 2 project.
Oh my God. I hope you like snow. I hope you like snow. Come on.
So I am Annelise Palm. I am a community developer, and I will be your host today. We have Yannick with us, our familiar face, creative director.
Hello. So good to see you.
So starting with the community and feedback. Yannick, you've been here from the very beginning, from Division 1 and Division 2, and worked with feedback. It's part of the massive DNA to work with live streams, have interactions with the community ongoingly. How have you feel that collaboration looked in the Division 1, and how has it evolved into what it is in Division 2 today?
Well, I think it's really at the heart of everything we do. It's been such an important part of the history of the division, and for those of you, I'm sure some of you are here since the days of Division 1. Who's been here since Division 1?
Whoa!
Has anybody not been here since Division 1?
It's all veterans.
Like all the hands went up. So you might remember some of the history that we've had. But yeah, it's from the moment we started working on the division, we started communicating about the division. We always wanted to build something that would be dear to the people who play, that would be very close to them, and that would be a collaboration. And we had, it's especially since the launch and after the launch of the Division 1, where we had our first kind of trials of fire, update 1.4. I'm sure some of you might remember. I do. I remember the before 1.4 and the after. But this was really, I think, a shaping moment for all of us on the division, realizing not just the need, but also how good it is for all of us, how necessary and potent it can be as well to actually work together hand in hand with the players. So we've been keeping that with us, working on Division 2, with the launch of Division 2, and all the way to what we're doing today. And I know sometimes, we have our ups and downs, and we don't always act as much as we want on working with the community. We don't always reach out as much as we want to do. That's something we are working towards changing, and to get back to that, to those roots of really being super open and transparent with all of you. Working more with our German community as well, because I hear there's a very active German community. So love you guys. And yeah, so you'll see more of that in the future. You'll see more opportunities for feedback, more opportunities for also transparency from us. It's super important, and we have no intention to slow down. Quite the contrary.
Yeah, and all the veterans here, they've been playing the game for so long. They're experts at playing the game by now. And obviously the team has been playing and, developing the game for a long time, so they're also experts at developing. How do you weigh the feedback coming from the players when you work with that feedback process as a creative director?
Well, it's, feedback is super important, and, you hear that all the time, but it's the way we want to, or the way we utilize feedback is that's one indicator that helps us make decisions. It's not the only one, and it's very important for everybody to understand that just because the community and the players tell us they want something, that doesn't always necessarily mean this is what we need to do. For us, it's very important to look at what does the game need in the bigger picture and for the long term. And so we usually base our decisions on three parts. One part, and an important one, is feedback. The other one is data. It's what does the actual data of the game tell us, because that's one way of giving us feedback, is actually looking at the way you play the game. What do you do? What do you spend time on? What works and what doesn't? And then the third part is our own expertise. It's our gut feeling as professionals. What do we think is the right thing? And we look at those three things, and sometimes those three things align, and they give us some very clear indications. Okay, this is not working. This needs to change. The players don't like it. We see with data that it's not working. We also agree that this is not the right thing. So then that makes our job easy when all of that aligns. Sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes we have one of those pillars that gives us an indication. The other ones give us another one. And then it's very important for us as a team to try to really, again, look at the long term, look at the bigger picture, look at the game, and think, okay, what is the right thing to do here? And that's where leadership comes in, to try to define which direction do we want to go. But if all of those things, in a way, conflict, very often then we're going to fall down to feedback and what players want to give us kind of a North Star or a guiding light to see, okay, if we don't have any clear indication, then we might as well do what the players want us to do.
Yeah, it feels like you're getting at that the players either confirms or challenges, your assumptions. So was there a time when feedback surprised you, changed what you had in mind, or didn't play out as expected?
Yeah, I mean, it happens sometimes. It happens a lot, actually, that we make assumptions, we work on something, we're convinced it's going to be great, we put it out there, and then people, you folks, tell us, actually, that's not great. Most of the time, it's not worded that way. When we get feedback that tells us something is not great, usually it's not necessarily in a polite way, but that's fine. We can take it. But yeah, one example, I think, fairly recent that some of you may remember was last year. We announced the big revamp of the seasons, Seasons 2.0, and part of that big revamp was the proposition of seasonal characters, which was an idea that we really believed in. And we thought, okay, this is a good way to move forward. This is a good way to bring back a sense of progression with every season, a real reason why am I chasing XP, what am I progressing, well, I actually will see my levels going up. So we went into communication very confident in our proposition. And then, if you remember, the feedback we got was actually quite opposed to that idea. We got really challenged by the community in a fairly unanimous way. From a lot of players saying this is not a good idea, mostly, because of the attachment that a lot of you have to your characters and to the time that you've been spending playing those characters, progressing them. And then we come here and we say, hey, you know what? Next season you start a new character. So it allowed us to look at this proposition from a different angle. And when a situation like that arises, then it's that's one of those situations where we ask ourselves, okay, what do we do? There's this one thing we think is good for the game, but we can see that people really don't like it. But at the end of the day, in this kind of situation, it's a very easy decision. Like, nobody wins if we are forcing a change that nobody wants. We are not going to push it down your throat and say, you have to like it. So we decided to change. We decided to go with the feedback and say, okay, well, we're not going to do the seasonal characters. All the work we've put into that, we're going to put it on hold. We're going to reuse it. And we're going to go back to, from a blank slate, rethinking the whole thing, which is what we did. And at the end of the day, I think this is great because this is the great common interactions we need to have, because the new seasonal model that we landed with that does not use new seasonal characters, I think is a better proposition. And I think, players were right to challenge us and to push back because it made us rethink from a different angle and actually find a better solution that is the best of both worlds. So, yeah, it's great. It's great when negative feedback is also a good thing.
It's a very interesting case. And, I've been here on this project since March. And being a community developer, that feedback loop is something that we're all passionate about, the feedback loop and the community, but it's a little dearer to my heart, maybe. So it was an interesting case to look at and improve that process with.
Say it's interesting now. Back then, I can tell you, we had a few drops of sweat on our foreheads. But I think in hindsight, it was it was a good situation, and we made the right decisions.
Yeah, one of the ways that the team early on has been gathering feedback via is the Elite Task Force program. It's our insider program. And it's been there from the start. How did you learn from that approach? What did you learn from that approach that still informs how you work and look at feedback today?
Well, what's great with having something like the Elite Task Force is it allows us to actually have a dialogue. Because when we announce something, we communicate on something, then we get that feedback. We take that feedback. We try to to curate it, to understand what are really the friction points here. Then we have to think of another proposition, get back to the community. With the Elite Task Force, the great thing is that we can have a direct discussion with some select people that are representative of the entire player base. And we can have direct discussions. We can have them be part of finding solutions to some of our problems and some of our challenges, which is a great thing. It allows us to create a real trust relationship with them, and hopefully with a greater player base because they know they are being represented. And then it's another way to get not just feedback, but to make the people that at the end of the day are the people who play the game, who experience this on a daily basis. So it makes sense that those people are part of the development process. And I hope we're going to get to do that even more, to get even more people. I would love to have everyone part of it. That's a lot of conversation then, but yeah, it's something we started doing with the Division 1 that stayed with us all the way now to Division 2.
Yeah, we even got to do some finishing touches on Brooklyn.
Yeah, we did one for Brooklyn before the launch of Battle for Brooklyn. And even though this came towards the end of the production of the DLC, still getting that final feedback, allowing us to do the final polish and do some final tweaks based on those conversations we had, allowed us to deliver an even greater DLC, and that contributed to a very successful launch that brought us to very high numbers that we hadn't seen since the days of Warlords of New York. So the Division 2 is in a great place today, and this is all thanks to the work we've been doing with the community and including the Elite Task Force in the process.
Yeah, I really feel like it adds depth to the conversations to have this, because it's something that's very hard when you look online and you read all the comments. People hate something or they love something. So it's a little ask for me and the community team to please make us understand why. If you don't like something or love something, then please just add those extra seconds to let us know what's the reasoning behind it. Yannick, as we look to the future of the division, what does a healthy creative partnership look like with the community to you?
Well, I think it's it's doing more of it, and it's really finding the right way to integrate that voice even more again in the development process. It's testing earlier, it's bringing players in earlier, it's giving visibility earlier, it's thinking long term, building programs that are going to stay with us in the future as we keep building Division 2, and creating a bit of a healthier exchange where we can feel confident in sharing our early thoughts, and the community can feel confident in giving us feedback, positive or negative, once again, so we know how to treat that, and we can have the early signs when we make those decisions to make sure that we can react and make the changes that are needed.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, Anaïs, I do have a question for you, because we talk about feedback, but this needs to be a two-way relationship. So what's in it for the community? What do they get from that?
I mean, the short and easy answer is transparency. We're working to share information earlier and earlier. And it also has to do with giving that right level of context. Because feedback only, can truly mean something if they understand the full context around it. And it's where it becomes the most valuable, when it's specific, informed, and builds on this clear picture of what we're imagining and given that context. So we've been, talking about involving the community earlier and earlier, which is super exciting. At the same time, we know that things can shift around, and we don't want to set expectations too soon. So it's really about finding that sweet spot, to share the information. And one of the best ways to do it is through insider programs, because then, it's NDAs involved, we can share more, it's all this spicy, juicy stuff. So we're working towards this, and it's actually already in motion. We're happy to announce that the Elite Task Force has opened its gates. So if you're interested in getting information early, you're good at giving feedback, you want to make your voice heard, then please sign up using the QR code or go to the link. It will be open until Sunday. So make sure to sign up.
I see some new candidates here.
Yeah, some people are already signing up. Leo back home is gonna have to go through all the applications.
Good.
Yes. So we talked about how we built the division with our players over the years, and we will discuss how this philosophy is continuing on the new project coming up soon on the Division 2. But before that, let's see how it looks on the Resurgence, the new mobile title. So I want to introduce Louis Tropin, brand director on the Division Resurgence. Welcome.
Please, right there.
Hello.
Please
Hello.
join me. It's nice and comfy here.
Nice comfy living
Hi,
room.
Louis.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Can you share a little bit about yourself?
Yes, actually, so I'm Louis. I've been working on the division for quite a while now with this guy since 2018, so 8 years. Okay.
I've been on the division for 10 years. I've worked with everyone on the division.
Yeah,
so
you're the
included.
oldest, but I have the most gray hair, so I win. But yeah, anyway, very happy to be here to finally speak a bit more about Resurgence. Again, I want to say.
Nice. Could you give us, for those who are not familiar with the game, just like the elevator pitch of what is this game?
Yeah, so basically in very short words, it's an online, massively multiplayer role-play game, which sounds familiar because it's basically the experience you get with the Division on console and PC, but adapted to mobile format.
That sounds like so much fun.
It does.
It does. What about the storyline? What can you tell us about the Division Resurgence story?
Well, I can jump in the storyline, but maybe just before I could give you a bit more details on how we are adapting it for mobile.
Let's go for that.
Actually, to let you know a little bit what I hinted at. We actually worked on this with an extensive team to make sure that we adjusted, obviously, the controls of the game itself, because you all here or online know that the Division is actually quite a deep and broad type of experience. So something we're really focused on is making sure that the gameplay experience, handheld but also touch-based, was perfect for everyone to be able to enjoy the game at its fullest. We are obviously controller compatible for this game as soon as we'll be launching, but you can really adjust everything you want on the controls. You can the size of the button, you can move them around, everything you want to make sure that you really dive deep into the experience that the Division Resurgence has to offer. Another example of what we did actually is to adjust not only the controls but also the gameplay itself, what the game has to offer. Obviously, keeping the core of the looter-shooter that the Division has to offer, but we basically adjusted the length of some of the activities, most of the activities. The open-world activities are what we call more snackable. You can play them really easily on the go, but you'll also get those longer sessions through the main missions that still are shorter than what you would get on PC or console, but still offer those epic moments, those immersive moments into this beautiful world that the team at Massive actually has created and that we are perpetuating on mobile.
Nice. Story. I'm eager for the story. I'm a lore nerd.
We can go into the story. I know a lot of people here actually are interested in what the Division lore has to tell.
Yes.
And for Resurgence, we actually worked very closely with the teams over at Massive to make sure that whatever we tell is coherent, consistent, logical with what the main entries, this one being also main entry, they all have a story, a cohesive story to tell. So typically we are introducing new factions, familiar faces from the Division 1, but also we are really bridging that gap between the Division 1 and the Division 2. something that you'll get to experience as a player of Resurgence is actually the moment where the first wave of agents are being activated. So that's something we get to play as in the prologue. It's the very first few missions. So once you complete the tutorial, then you get really thrown into the midst of the original chaos. That's just very biblical, actually, but you see what I mean, really the beginning of the story. And then we actually pick up after the events of the Division 1, when society, or at least civilians, have started to rebuild. And really the story of Resurgence is about that, is to make sure to help those early settlements that are budding, sprouting in the open world, in the area of Manhattan, to move along, get along, and survive the somewhat still chaotic situation that is taking place in Manhattan. So yeah.
So new.
I think most important question is because you say it's in the timeline Division 1 and all that. Does it have snow?
So it has.
I hear people like snow.
It has melting snow.
Does it have beautiful snow?
That works. I think.
Okay.
Yes. Sometimes it snows. Yes.
Nice.
So new canon story.
It's definitely a new canon story. It's entirely part of the story of the franchise. Very happy about that.
Really cool. So we talked about how we're working with feedback in the Division 2. How do you leverage that knowledge, and how will you work with it for the Resurgence?
Well, we're very happy to have our crash test dummies right here who are playtesting everything for us. No, I'm kidding. Basically, what I want to say is we obviously look at what's happening already today in the universe of the Division 2. Typically, the Brooklyn DLC.
We are a guinea pig for you, is what
you are. But we'll throw it back to you once we're live.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
But basically, we check out how it's received. You know, obviously that educates us in how we should interact with this community, and also what type of content could be interesting to look into in the future for Resurgence. But the game has been announced in 2022, and it has already been through several loops of tests, as you may or may not know. And we've already been lucky enough to get some very, very valuable feedback from people from around the world, and that's stuff that already we used to adjust. And if I take just very quick examples, the introduction, the tutorial has been reworked using that feedback. The balancing of the games, has been reworked. The progression pacing has been reworked. So it's really stuff that we value a lot when we have that feedback. And that's why we're looking forward actually to see how the ETF is evolving in a sense and reopening its gates, because we're also looking into ways to make sure that we get those direct interactions, those very in-depth interactions with our most engaged players, some already existing from the past tests, but also new ones that will be coming up, joining us hopefully. And we really want to make sure that everyone's voice gets heard, and then if it makes sense, to act on it. For sure.
Sounds like a good plan. And my voice is breaking.
We're losing you.
So what's the next step?
The next step for us, actually, I kind of hinted at that. I'm very happy to confirm it. Is we're heading back into testing phase for the project. So it's been a while since the last tech took place. I'm pretty sure you know, but I can confirm that the next closed test will be taking place in September. So that's right around the corner, actually. And you can indeed already come and start registering for it. It will be both for Android and iOS. And by that, sorry, I got confused. Getting served on the. That's perfect. But anyway, yes, you can jump in right now, go register, and maybe you have a chance to join our next test this September. It's actually, hopefully, the first step in the next stages for this game that's coming up soon to you all in free-to-play format on iOS and Android phones.
More division for everyone. But
yes. More division for everyone.
Best.
Thank you for that deep dive into Resurgence, Louis. It's amazing to see this franchise growing and evolving with the community at its heart. My voice is breaking, but I'm too excited to care. Yes, I'm too excited to care, because now we're going to talk about that other project on the horizon. Please welcome Magnus Jansen, Creative Director. Woo! Welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Could you introduce yourself a little bit more for our audience?
So, hello, my name is Magnus. I'm a creative director at Massive, just like Yannick. Super happy to be here. Exciting. My voice is amazing, of course, for 2 more minutes. And I work at Massive. I worked there for 20 years. And one of the things I did was that I had the privilege to be the creative director on the first Division game, released in 2016. And that was a fantastic time. Then I was away from the world of the Division for a few years. But now I am back and working on something very, very exciting.
What? Come on.
We can wait it now. Okay. So I am super proud and thrilled to announce to you and to the world that we are working on the Division 2 Survivors.
Woo!
That sounds familiar.
So I know you can't reveal too much, but what can you share about the Division 2 Survivors?
As some of you had already figured out, right? The wintry survival extraction experience is coming to the Division 2. And I know some of you are, like me, fans of the survival mode that we had in the first Division. And obviously, we think that those of you who like that will be very, very happy. But it's more than a remake, right? We are doing cool new things. And I can't reveal much more than that. But what I will say, and this is like a teaser, is that a hint to maybe the biggest new thing we're doing is right there in the name. So I'll just leave that there, and then I'll be back next year, okay?
Let the people figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure there will be plenty of theories.
That's or we don't know, and this is community involvement.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But so, I asked earlier, how many of you were here since the days of Division 1? A lot of hands raised. So I think you have, amongst other people, this guy to thank because he was the original creative director. Round of applause for Magnus, please. Lots of respect. It's a privilege for me to get to work with Magnus. A great inspiration. So, why did you come back, Magnus?
I mean, look at this. It's like, is this not enough of a reason to come back? No, I mean, as I said, I was away for a while, but I did play, and I did play the Division 2 throughout all that time. And I'm so impressed what you've been doing. The game is really fun, new things added all the time. And as I was playing and running through the city, there's this feeling that I had that could this environment be explored through a very different gameplay lens? Could we have, the survival experience here in Washington? And that was, and then, one thing led to another, and here we are. So that was really like the origin.
Yeah, and with the Elite Task Force program being revamped, how are we planning to work with them?
Yeah, I mean, as Yannick was saying, we've been making multiplayer games at Massive for 3 decades, and we're always getting better at testing in a real environment, not inside but outside with real players. And as Yannick was saying, we constantly evolving and improving, and we tend to find that we want to, testing earlier is better than we always need to test earlier than we thought, and we always need to test more than we thought. And now, can't get much earlier than this, because I don't even have a T-shirt for the game, like you guys do. And then of course more, right? And personally, there's this anecdote that I like to talk about when there's new employees that are like, what do you mean we're gonna tell people, about the game, when we hardly have anything more than to show than this? Well, I say listen, we thought we tested the Division 1 really well. We had alphas and betas, but still on launch day, we didn't test Brooklyn. And then when on launch day, we all got to Brooklyn and we wanted to activate as agents, and but you're out of luck. There's a queue to the friggin' laptop to activate it. I mean, who here was in queue to activate on the laptop in Division 1? Right, exactly. So, which is that's the proof, right? We need to test not just early, but we need to test more. And the Elite Task Force is, if you want to be in on that, that's where we will go to first.
Nice. So signed. I can't.
So I
want us
think
to take over?
so. This is another. Thank you, Anais. Your contribution will be remembered. But this is another reason why you need to sign up to the ETF. So if you didn't scan the QR code, don't worry. I'm sure there will be plenty of opportunities to find it. I'm sure it's going to be online. But yeah, please sign up. We really want to have as many people as we can. And it starts with the ETF, as Magnus said, and then, of course, we will be expanding to more and more people. So thank you so much. And yeah, there's a lot happening in the world of the Division, so maybe we can actually show a bit of a recap. Yesterday, we had already a panel. We talked about some of the stuff that is actually presented here. So here, just to recap everything, we are currently ending the season that is called Crossroads. This is the season that started with the release of Battle for Brooklyn. Then after that, we are just about to start our next season, which is the one called The Pact. We talked about it yesterday. If you've been following the news, following the PTS, you know a bit about it. This is a season that is going to be about territory control. We're bringing a new feature called Retaliation, where the factions will push back in the world against you based on what you're doing and how much you're fighting against them. And it's coming also with a whole new set of modifiers here, once again, based on the idea of territory control. After that, it's about you.
Yes, we have Resurgence coming up, so same thing. Don't forget to go sign up. I'm sure you'll all get the recap or the QR code after that, making sure that we have your valuable feedback also for this brand new experience in the universe of the Division.
Yeah. And then we're going to get into the following season for the Division 2, the new season that is called Mutiny. And we also talked a bit about it yesterday, and I know that online at least it made a bit of noise, but yes, this season will come with a new ID, the concept of companion NPCs, so you will be able to play with NPCs alongside you. I will not say more. You'll have to wait a bit more for more news on that. That will be from December and leading us all the way to March, which, as you all know, because you're all Division specialists here, March is an important month. It's the anniversary month for the Division. And this March 2026, is a very important one because that's going to be the 10 years anniversary since that very day with the laptop, the Brooklyn laptop.
Yeah, the laptop day.
The laptop day in the history of the Division. So this will be the 10 years anniversary of the launch of Division 1 and of the franchise in general. So expect big celebration and a lot of news until then. Then there's a whole bunch of other things that are not even on this timeline, but we're already working on and planning. There's a great future ahead of us for the Division 2. More seasons, more content, more big stuff that we're not even going to share here on top of everything we've talked about. And somewhere in the future, once you finally get a T-shirt, then the Survivors experience. So that's at least the recap. So let me check the notes because this is not my part. This is a nice part. But yeah, when we can share more with you, of course, we will be doing that. There's a great future ahead of us. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for your support. It means a lot to us. And yeah, there wouldn't be 10 years anniversary of the Division. There wouldn't be 10 years without having you part of it and the help and the support and the feedback that we've been getting. So once again, thank you. Thank you, everybody online. Hope you're happy with what you've heard. And again, stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of news. Please register to the ETF. Please register to the test for Resurgence. We need your feedback. We need you for hopefully another great 10 years of the division. So thank you, everyone.